Thank you for tuning into Old Dog, New Tricks, a series about passions, pastimes, hobbies, anything you set aside time for in your daily life. I'm Justin, the aforementioned Old Dog, and on today's episode, I sit down with an old friend of mine, Dreanna, as we talk about writing. She and I had an absolute blast sitting down in my office today and recording this episode, and I'm excited to share it with you all, so let's get into it. Check. Somebody told me the other day, they said, it's good. They like the podcast. It's just quiet. And I want to make sure it's like...
Oh my gosh. Like an actual person?
Like it's... yeah, like
not one of the fake usernames you made up?
Somebody who listens. Could you imagine? Thank you for joining me. Thanks for taking the time and...
Of course.
Excited. I'm trying to clean up while I'm doing this.
No, you're good.
Obviously, the boys were in here. In the sanctum.
The boys.
But yeah, it's literally just, I just want to learn about I know a little bit about what you like to do, and specifically, I think you had mentioned writing.
Yes.
But I want to dive into that.
Yeah.
And I want to know why do you do that? Why? For what reason?
What's the reason?
What's the deal with this? Like what?
Like, why are you writing so much?
Yeah. What do you have to write about? People don't do.
Your life's pretty boring.
We start podcasts now. You don't need to write. It's silly.
Why do I write? I don't know. I think it was just, growing up, my grandfather, he would literally sit me on the floor and he would open up medical books, the Bible, or just different books, and just literally have me read along. And I don't know, he was also just my grandfather's just very intellectual anyway. But he would just have me write, and just I was always grew up within books and just writing and stuff like that. So I was always interested as a little kid. But I don't know, I think especially growing up, I always had just such obviously I was kind of a quiet kid, but my mind always ran wild, and I just imagined so much different things, and I was always interested in movies and books and just different storylines and plots. So I think for me, I was oh my gosh, it could be really, really nice if all these thoughts that are running wild in my mind, that I'll be able just to kind of write it, type it. Yeah, and it's planned out pretty good. I get paid for my writing.
So this is already when I think of a hobby, when I think of
this actually isn't a hobby.
I don't get paid for my hobbies. I don't get paid. This is literally passion. This is you're not doing this full time. I don't.
No, but
but you do it time enough.
Oh, for sure. If I could remotely travel and write, as a job, 100%.
That's the dream.
Sign me up. All over the world, Ireland, Italy, and just pop up my laptop and just write.
Yeah.
100%. Especially when you can get so much inspiration from different places.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're I don't know, I feel I can get inspired somewhere in Italy and Ireland, something that's kind of out of my comfort zone than just being here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, but
it's obviously the new experience,
Yeah.
It's always a big part of inspiration, but
yeah. But that's kind of how I got started.
What do you write about? There's a lot of questions I have, but this is
no, please. Yeah. So romance was always my niche. I don't know if niche is a word, but...
I think it is.
Okay, it was always my thing.
You're the writer. I don't...
Me? Don't know any words.
Just picking them up as I go.
Let's go. Yeah, I think that was always just something that I was very interested in. Something that I always read as well, growing up, was books was always romance, and even on TV, me as a 12-year-old girl was always into the early thousands rom-coms in 1990s, 10 Things I Hate About You,
Yeah.
She's All That, like, you know what I mean? Just like ones that would just be like, oh my gosh, like I just like wish. So I think that, I don't know, love is also really cool too. So I think that that was just always something that I was like, oh, you can just go so many variations with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's anything I would probably want to get into, would probably be like dystopia romance as well.
Okay.
But yeah, because there's thousands of those. But yeah, I think that's kind of like what I write often.
That's
in poetry.
Like your go-to.
Yeah, and poetry as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's exciting. Where can people read it? Is that like you can plug
so
whatever you want?
This is a moment in the podcast where it's a shout out.
We can do that now. We can do it at the end. Whatever you want to do.
No, absolutely.
But you're making money off this, so we got to plug it early. So
we definitely do.
This turned into a whole new. I didn't realize I had.
If you want to donate, I'm just kidding. Donate to the for fun. I'm just kidding.
Trying to travel. I'm trying to get more settings for my romance. So.
No, I am on Wattpad mainly. So that's just kind of like a free platform. That's like what I've kind of started off with. And then I'm on Candle.com platform as well. So you can read my stories there.
Wow.
But Wattpad is, I have a book called Mr. CO and I that I started when I was 15 years old. And that has like, oh my gosh, I think 30 million readers.
Wow.
So many shares.
Yeah.
And then I think I just like, when it got so big, a lot of people were just kind of like reaching out and be like, we want you on my website and stuff like that. But those are like the two main ones. But yeah. And then I have Mr. CO and then I have Chaos that I feel like I've literally been doing for 30 years. Still not done. Probably
Still
won't be done in a while.
Wow.
But it is also another book that I have written that I'm very, very, very passionate about.
Wow.
So yeah, but that's where you can find it. It's Wattpad.
Wattpad.
Yeah, Wattpad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, this goes way far beyond. I mean, it's a passion, obviously.
Yeah.
This goes way far beyond, like, you're beyond hobbyist.
Yeah.
It's
crazy because right now, excuse me, right now in my lifetime, I feel like it is a hobby.
Just where you're at. Like,
where I'm at.
You still work 40 hours.
Literally, yeah. Like, I feel like just kind of where I'm at in busyness, I feel like it's like a hobby now. But I don't know. I feel like back then when I kind of like had the time and the space to like really do things, then it was like an actual passion of mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just writing is just so hard to make a living off of. Mm-hmm. It really is like you really have to be in like the right pocket at the right time.
Right.
And the right backup to be able to make like money off of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Going back to your grandfather was having you just read with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, reading is an important part of being an author. But when did you start writing? When did you just start putting pen to paper, or did you even do paper? Did you just do?
So
computer?
I actually, when I started writing, was probably like. Maybe it was so crazy. I would probably say maybe like in grade school, because in grade school, kind of off topic.
Just have a guest. Just a guest in the studio. There he goes. He's running away.
There he goes.
He's like, that's not mom. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Totally someone different.
That's my bad.
I don't know how he did this.
Yeah, he was like ready to come in for it.
He was like,
oh,
whoa.
that's not my mom. That's not.
I mean, they look completely different.
Yeah.
But so when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a dancer. And then we had this project in grade school that it was like write a poetry about dancing. And I remember, like, I stayed up all night and I, like, wrote a poem and, like, wrote, like, this whole thing. And I got, like, an A+ on it. And then I went to my family about it. And they're like, oh, my gosh, like, Dreanna, like, you're writing. Like, you have beautiful handwriting for one. Like, this is, like, really good above, like, the 4th grade that you're in. Like, you got some serious words in there. It's above fantastic. It's...
Wow.
Phenomenal. It's extraordinary.
They keep going up. There's bigger words. I'll look those up later. I don't know what any of those mean.
Don't know what that means at all.
I don't know.
So yeah, after that, I kind of just got it like really in my mind, like, oh my gosh, like I really did like writing. This is something that like I feel like my family is proud of. Like my grandfather's like, oh my gosh, you should pursue this at like in 4th grade. So then I just like started writing and journaling, and especially like growing up in church a lot, I would like try to like write songs for the choir. And like, I feel like that was like kind of like one of my gifts that I can like bring and serve to the church. So yeah, so I probably say like grade school is when I started writing.
Yeah.
But then when it kind of came to like, okay, Dreanna, like you need to like crack down and actually write a story, was when I was 15 years old.
Okay, that's when you decided you picked up Mr. CEO and I.
Yeah, Mr. CEO and I. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
15, I couldn't imagine writing anything at 15. But
it's so crazy because when you go back and read it, I have not like edited at all. It literally looks like a 15-year-old literally wrote this.
All right.
Talking about grown woman, grown man, falling in love. She's an assistant. He's like a CEO. And I'm like, I got no business.
That's incredible.
I had no business
Right about the business world. He's
writing
got
about
stocks. He's driving a nice car.
Writing about meetings and scheduling.
He carries a briefcase.
Don't even have my own car myself in the real world.
Just got my permit.
Working at Culver.
Making that frozen custard. Thinking about that man in business.
Man in business. Woo, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but that's when I started Mr. CEO and I.
How long did that take you to write, though?
Man, I wrote it quick, and
that was a quick one. We gotta get this out. I got this idea.
Probably like, it's so bad because like when you get in it, I'm like, that's definitely 6 months of work. Like I definitely didn't put like a year, 2 years in.
You're just like published and done. We're done with this. Editing, we don't need it.
No one needs to check the spelling.
No, not this. This one, it's too good.
It's repeated twice. No one cares.
Too
good. Yeah, that took like maybe 7 months to a year.
Okay.
Yeah, for me to like actually finish it. But like it blew up. It blew up.
What made it blow up? Like, were you promoting it?
I was like promoting the heck out of it, but I also think at that time, especially when like being 15, 16 years old, like being that young, open up to the internet and everyone's like loving your work. You're like literally interacting as much as you can. You know what I mean? So I think that like the fact that I was like interacting with like, I hate even saying like fans, but like interacting with
readers,
fans and like promoting my book. And I think like the story really grasped to like a lot of people because it's so crazy me thinking about it, but like even Mr. CEO and I, like the woman has like a kid and there was like moms reading my book and I was like 15 years old, really like I was a kid myself, like you know what I mean? But it just, I don't know, I think just like the interacting with like the fan base, it became big to the point where like I would see people out and about in the Springs, and especially because I worked at Dutch Bros, and they would like literally know my name and know my stories and like ask for autographs or just like,
wow,
yeah, I've only got that. Actually, let me not take that too far. I only got asked maybe 4 times.
4 times,
but those 4 times will live rent free in my mind.
Yeah.
So.
I'm still riding the high on those 4 times.
Still riding the high on those 4 photographs.
You were famous.
I was so famous.
Yeah.
You know,
incredible.
So. Yeah, but yeah, it blew up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So speaking to the work that you had to put in for that.
Yeah.
what from when you were 15 and now, what has changed and what have you kept in the processes?
Oh my gosh. Like, as in, what has changed in my writing, or what has changed in my outward life where I can't write as much?
I think just in the process of writing, like what are you keeping while you write?
Yeah.
From 15, and what has changed, especially as you've grown older and find new ways to do things.
Yeah. I think one of the things that has like that I've really kept since I was like 15 years old was writing. Was like, literally, the sky is truly the limit. Like, Dreanna, like, you can write about anything and everything. Like, I know that you do write romance. It's a genre that you would love to stick to, but like, if you wanted to write like dystopia, a horror, like, you can always write. Like, never limit yourself of what your mind or what you just like. Always step out of the box. So I think that's something that I always would carry on even as like an older age, as like an adult, almost like a year later. So yeah, but that's probably one of the things. And then one of the things that I definitely have grown in is like, Dreanna, check your spelling. Like,
there's literal programs for it now.
No, there is. Like, I have a program now.
Yeah, that's checking
like,
spelling.
check your grammar. Like, check. Like, I think. Let me say this in more like a. I think like what I have changed now, being a little bit older, is that, I mean, obviously my things are a little bit more like proofread, and I'm like making sure of what I'm actually putting out there. Yeah. And I don't know if this also is just a thing too, but like, when I was 15 years old to 25 years old now, like, I do have to be very, very careful of my fans, just like the sensitive topics that I might talk about. Like, the things that I can say when I was 15 years old, I can probably get away with, but 25 years old, absolutely not. Yeah, I definitely think that I like learned my tact, and like, there's a time and place for everything, and like, what might have been good 10 years ago is not good now, and that's obviously like okay, but I think that's just something that like I'm definitely even like still learning as well. So I think that's like one of the things that's definitely changed, is just being able to have more of like a grown adult eyes on it than just like a 50-year-old kid writing. Just all right, like,
send it to
let's call it good. Let's see what this does. Yeah.
Well, and it's always just, society's norms are always changing as to 100%. What we can write about. There's no way.
100%. And there's like, and for me, it's like, I think that writing is an art. You know what I mean? And art should not be filtered, I don't think, in any way. But then it's like, when you have that art and you do post it and you are interacting with fans, you also have to be mindful of what you put out there. You know what I mean? So, and like you said, like the social norms as well, like everything is evolving every day, any day. And I'm trying to catch up to it and trying to,
Sure.
But I think that that's just something that like, okay, Dreanna, like, you definitely going to have to put that in perspective.
Yeah. I think even as a consumer, I love to read, and consuming, like, I read a lot of older science fiction and horror and things. And even some of that, there's warnings in some of the books that are published today of just like, hey, this is presented in its original context. And we wanted to leave it whole, but you as the reader can decide what you're going to do with it.
Exactly.
And I think there's just things that you as a writer are just, you want to put down.
Yeah.
And people can take it or leave it,
Exactly. Well, even my new book too, like Chaos, it has like a lot of...
We're getting a sneak peek. This is a Scloozy, everybody. We're getting a Scloozy.
Read it.
She's talking about her new book.
This book too is like a very mature version of like Dreanna and me as an author, but it does talk about like a lot of suicidal tendencies and depression and just like what people do go through in daily lives. And like, I literally do have to have like a trigger warning and just a warning before my book, like, hey, like, I'm very, just kind of just out there, just like, I see everyone and I'm very cautious of what I'm doing, but I also don't want to filter what happens in daily life. So it's definitely a navigating era, but I'm down to navigate.
That's heavy stuff you're navigating.
Very heavy stuff.
Is this book out, or is
Chaos? Yeah. So, because with Wattpad, you can literally just like upload chapters anytime.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So this is just chapter by chapter.
Yeah, chapter by chapter. So yeah, it's out right now. Not finished. It's gonna get finished.
So it's like we're reading live.
We're literally reading live.
Wow, that's
100%.
I don't think I've ever read a book like that.
And I think that's what's really nice about Wattpad. It's like you can really just like, and that's why it's so interactive. And I think that's why it also really blew up when I was 15 years old, because it was like people were like getting it right now. You know what I mean?
So they're waiting for this is such a fascinating concept. It's like releasing a book as a TV show. Like we're watching it
literally
week by week. Okay.
And it's been on a 4-year-long break.
4-year long. You're really leaving them wanting more here.
I am leaving on that cliff, Justin.
Oh gosh. They're pissed at this point. The readers are pissed.
You don't know how many messages I get a day.
Oh my gosh, really?
Dreanna, where are you?
Wow.
How could you do this to Kai? How could you do this? Kai's the main character. I'm like, I'll be there.
I'm just leaving you guys. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Wow.
But I do need to get on it. To sum it all up.
After this, she's like, think about it. She's like, I better get back to those poor folk.
I better get back to that typing, everyone.
I really did leave them hanging.
I did, yeah.
Wow. That's fascinating, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's newsletters and journals and things that you publish in, but I didn't realize that, you could just do, for your audience.
Yeah.
And they're leaving comments. And that's so, it's kind of exciting. I get the excitement,
Yes, and it's so exciting because if you posted 2 minutes ago, if they catch you on the right time, they do comments. I love this chapter.
Yeah.
Comment right back. I was just here 2 minutes ago.
There,
Thank you so much.
Thanks for reading. You're quick. You read that whole chapter. Okay.
Wow.
They have to know what's going on.
Yeah, so it's really neat.
As an author who's publishing, and is published, what do you read to get into your zone? You just read all kinds of stuff?
My gosh, everything.
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. It's so crazy because, obviously when I grew up, it was romance. Sure. But I feel in my adult years, obviously the mind evolves, so you have to evolve with it. And I feel I've read everything. That's why I love dystopia. I just got done reading The Hunger Games, and everyone probably knows this book if you are listening to it, but The Fourth Wing. So good
right now.
So good. Yeah. So yeah, just things like that. I'm trying to get into horror films. Well, not horror films, but horror stories. Stephen King's always a classic. You can't really go wrong with him, and things like that, autobiography. So I don't know. I think for me to get in my zone of what I am writing, I usually have to read a book that is kind of familiar with what I'm writing. Yeah. So yeah. So for instance, I really want to write a dystopia book because of Hunger Games. Yeah. But I just finished Hunger Games.
So you're gonna start picking things out of there.
Yes. Yeah. And it's I don't know, I think that's why it's so awesome to be able to read, because you can really get inspired by the most littlest and small things, but it can become so big and really neat, and being able to reach out to other people in some way somehow, you know. So yeah, I think that's what I usually do now, for sure. Yeah.
What is something you would tell somebody who's trying to get into writing? What's one of the big things that they need to know?
Oh my gosh, there's so much things that I'm learning still.
Well, what's something you wish you knew when you started even?
I think one of the things that I think for me, it's just do your research. I know that sounds really weird to say, but for me, I want to be able to, Chaos, the book that I have now, I want to be able to actually publish it, and I guess you say like book form, like
Right.
literally like
Physically.
like physically. I want to be able to do that, but then at the same time, I'm like, I don't even know how to go that route. So I think for me, I think I would just like, obviously I could figure it out just doing research and stuff like that. But I think that would probably be one thing that I would love to learn about. Like, okay, like how can I actually make this get into the hands of like people physically? And I also think for me, it's like, I also just like never limit yourself of where it could go. Like, I think that for me, I'm like, oh, chaos. Like, I want to see it as a book, but then I also want to see it on screens one day.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I want to see it in film because I love film too. Like, I love movies.
Yeah.
I love film. And anyway, so I think like just keeping your mind open to the process and keeping your mind open to like whatever you put on paper can come alive in other ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's probably something that I would definitely say to the authors right there, and stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, not making you passionate.
Get going. Tell them. That's important. I think finding your voice and staying true to yourself is
yes,
that's a huge thing. Especially in this day and age where robots are writing. You know.
AI.
Yeah.
AI.
They've started writing, so it's like we got,
They're going to take my job.
we need human voices more than ever. Yeah.
20 years from now, I might be AI.
People are probably hoping for that at this point. They're like, she hasn't written anything in 4 years.
If you can't do it, get an AI on it. And I'm like, you're right.
You might as well at this
You
point.
might as well.
So we know. No, I think
So we know.
finding your voice and staying true to it is important, especially.
It definitely is. It definitely
even
is.
more now.
Because, I mean, if you put art out there, like, it's so... There's so many opinions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even when it comes to, like, music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, art, writing, whatever you put out there, it's so open to so many opinions. But, yeah.
Somebody's going to love it. Somebody's going to hate it.
Yeah.
You just got to be used to it.
You just got to get used to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you also said research. What I find fascinating about research is how easy it is nowadays to just be like, oh, I got to look up what kind of tires would be on at the crime scene for this kind of car. You can just Google it.
The crime scene? Did you see the crime scene?
Yeah, if you're right.
No, that's crazy.
Or like what kind of exit wound would happen here? And how did they figure that in the 70s? And they had to know something.
I never thought that I would live in a generation now where everything is literally at the palm of my hand.
It's just like right there.
It is so fascinating, but it's also so terrifying.
It's so scary.
So scary.
Yeah.
I also think, like, I don't know. It's just so weird, too, because I also feel like in some ways it can dumb me down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just don't have to be sharp anymore. There's no reason to think if you're just
There's no reason to open up a book.
Google it real quick.
No reason to open up a book. There's no, like, medically back then, everything was just like off of like research cases, literally open up like books of what people would do records. But like these days, you don't have to open up anything.
It's so strange.
So that's crazy.
Back in the day, they were writing about murders and like Stephen King, even like the grossest stuff you can imagine. It's like, who did he have to talk to figure out what? What a dead body would look like in that condition. He was looking at case reports and things, You could just Google that now.
Case reports after case. Yeah, like that.
It's fascinating.
Like, that's crazy.
If anybody knows, let us know in the comments what the heck Stephen King was up to.
Let us know in the comments who Stephen was talking. Drop their addy.
Who's Stephen King's guy? His inside viscera guy. That's what I need to know.
Like dead, blue, pink on the lips, blue on the lips. It's like, wait, what?
Gross. We're going to have to flag this episode for violence.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't think I'd see this happen.
No, yeah. I never thought that I would live in a generation where it's just like boop, boop, bop.
Right at the fingertips.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Thanks for sitting down with me and chatting about this. Do you have any final thoughts or anything about authorhood and
don't wait 4 years to get on. Just kidding. No. Honestly, I just think that, like, if you do have a passion, you do have a hobby, still make time for it. Like, I think especially when burnout can be at the cups of things, it's really nice to have things that can still set you on fire and make you feel alive. So I think if you're an author out there or a reader out there, if a book makes you feel alive, if a story makes you feel alive, ride along for it. Yeah, but that's all my thoughts.
Wow. Inspiring.
Thank you.
I keep telling my guests at the end of every episode, I'm like, I'm fired up. I gotta go read something. I gotta write something, you know.
Gotta go write a story.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can finish Chaos for me.
Okay, yeah, you send me the manuscripts and I will get on that. Make sure that.
But thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening. This was Old Dog New Tricks. I don't even think I introduced you. I'm garbage at introducing people. I'll put a little intro.
Yeah, a little intro.
Thank you for tuning in to Old Dog New Tricks, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.